All right, I'm in Taipei. It's early morning, about 7 a.m., and I'm riding the Riverside Park, which is the Keelung River, and it's running and biking for kilometers at an end. It's slightly wet, but it's still a beautiful morning. And you can see we're just riding along this river path. We've got runners beside me, around me. Every so often you'll see a little group of cyclists. I'm using a Youbike, which is a public hire bike. They're cheap. They only cost, actually they don't cost anything. The regular Youbikes don't cost anything within half an hour, I think. And beyond that, it's maybe 50 cents Australian for the next half an hour or something like that. It's very, very cheap. It's a really beautiful morning. Had quite a lot of rain early morning overnight. So the roads are a little bit wet, but the rain stopped. And this is probably one of the most peaceful places you might find yourself in the hustle and bustle of Taipei. It's New Year's Eve, 2025, last day of the year. So happy New Year to everyone. But I'll tell you what, at 7 a.m, it seems like everyone's still going to work. So yeah, which I guess is the case in Sydney as well. Not everyone gets a break on New Year's Eve, but I suspect even on New Year's Day, you may not have everyone off work. So that's a beautiful, one of the many bridges that span the Keelung River. That's pretty nice. On my left is essentially a big wall that separates these paths from the main roads. I think they act as flooding barriers. They've got gates, which can form as entry points for people and bikes along the way. This guy, oh, it's croquet. I thought he was practicing putting golf balls. But yes, people in Taipei apparently play croquet as well. That I did not know. Taipei is surprisingly, for a city with so many people, relatively higher density of living. I mean, surely nothing like Hong Kong, but has a lot of green trees and parks, places for recreation. So people do keep active. And I would think people walk a lot. So the metro stations are the metro system is very, very good. Which then again, like Japan, you're gonna spend a decent amount of time walking between metro stations rather than going door to door driving. But the other thing I noticed was, even with all of the incredible food that Taiwan has, there are far fewer overweight people, particularly overweight seniors, than at least in Australia. So yeah, again, I mean, call it Asian physiology, but there are countries that have far greater numbers of obesity. But in Taiwan, I do suspect the elderly keep rather active, and any park, anytime, which is similar to what we see in Sydney. You're gonna get old Chinese people doing Tai Chi and all sorts of things. Planes taking off, so we are close to one of the smaller airports, the Songshan Airport, which isn't the international airport. But the Songshan Airport is very close to the city. And I suspect that's where some of the domestic flights might come in and out of. The view is kind of nice for a river that seems like it's surrounded by industrial and residential buildings. But this path is really long. So I've ridden it before, also on a Youbike. And I've gotten to around Shiling, nearly to Danshui or Tamsui. But that's a fair bit of riding, especially on a Youbike, which does not go that fast. So this is the left bank of the Keelung River. You can ride on the right bank as well. So I think the cycle, running, walk paths go on both sides. And I don't know, because it's New Year's Eve or it's kind of wet out. Usually by this time in the morning, there's a lot more people. The distant mountains are fairly covered by dark clouds, or at least grey clouds. So I suspect there's a bit of rain at different places. But yes, Youbikes. Youbikes are fantastic. They really are so convenient. Oh, I think there's a group running behind me. They're coming. Road bikes, yes. Nice road bikes too. That's the kind of thing I'd be into back in the day. Or if I had a road bike or could rent a road bike. So flat. So the riding around Taipei is actually really flat. But yes, back to Youbikes. So Youbikes are everywhere. I think if you want a bike share option, this is way better than anything we've got in Australia. So if you know these e-bikes in the city and surrounding suburbs, they just get littered everywhere. Whereas Youbikes, there are Youbike stations, and they're all around the kind of MRT station precincts, also major places. They all have a few Youbike stands either side of the road, and you have to rent and return Youbikes to those stations. They're really sturdy, and there are e-bike options now with Youbikes. They're really sturdy. I think they're done in collaboration with Giant, the bike company, which is, of course, you know, Taiwanese. And yeah, they're super sturdy, and they're not, you know, they're not left on sidewalks, left around the place. They are returned. It looks decent as opposed to how it is in so many cities and places with share bikes in Australia. And as I said, it costs nothing if you get a regular Youbike, the non-e-bike versions, within a certain amount of time for riding. And if you can get the e-bike versions, they do cost, but I think it's 20 Taiwanese dollars, which is about $1 Australian. Oh, you can hear the plane. It's so loud. About $20 Taiwanese dollars, $1 Australian for the first half an hour. And then I think 20 for the next half an hour, or something like that. And then beyond like 2 hours, it costs 40 or something like that, because they, you know, designed for short distance travels. Anyway, so all you need to hire one, or the method that has been traditionally the one that I've used, is using a Easy card, which is essentially like your Japanese IC cards, or your Opal cards, I suppose, equivalent, which is what you use for the metro, which you can top up and so on. But here's the thing, if you want to rent a Youbike, you can't just use any easy card. You have to register it for Youbike usage, and the only way you can register for Youbike usage is having a local number. So for those travelers wanting to come to Taipei and wanting to rent Youbikes, which is so, like, I cannot tell you how much I love the convenience of Youbikes. Like, even so, if you're say staying somewhere and you're not within 5-10 minutes walk of a metro station, or you need to go on a different metro line, obviously you can change, but sometimes takes quite a lot longer. But if you hop on a Youbike, you could literally get to your nearest metro station within 5 minutes of riding. And riding on footpaths is completely legal in most places, and they're wide footpaths. So the major roads especially, you'll see bikes, people, but it's wide. There's nothing like what we've got in Sydney. But when you hire one of these, you'll be able to get to the nearest metro or go from one metro station to the next line without having to backtrack and go to the connecting metro station. And it might take you 5 minutes of riding. Hop on, hop off, it costs nothing, again, if you use a regular Youbike. Terrain is flat, so we're not even really needing the e-bikes. The e-bikes are fun, by the way, because you just to get that boost and you go a lot faster with a lot less effort, of course. But you hop on, costs nothing, you get to the next metro station, and yeah, it's just so much easier. And it doesn't matter where you live within the Taipei sort of metropolitan area, you can just get onto the metro network via a Youbike. Or you can do what I'm doing today, which is hire a Youbike and just ride for fun. That's what I love doing in Taipei. Again, those of you who know my YouTube videos, by the way, subscribe and like for this kind of content. But yes, it's the best way to see any place. And I'm a firm believer that you go anywhere, you don't have to be a serious cyclist. You go anywhere, you find a bike, especially a place like Taipei where it's got, and other cities in Taiwan have Youbikes as well, but say Taipei, and you want to see it in a way that is just gonna allow you to explore. This is the way to do it, right? You go to a city, you find a bike, a public bike rental system like in Taipei. It just makes it so easy for you. So I cannot stress how important it is if you're coming to Taipei to have a go at the Youbikes. But if you do, don't just get a data-only SIM. Or if you're traveling in a group, at least one of you get a SIM card that has a local number, which will help you anyway. Like I found that in Japan, if you want to book restaurants, right? I mean, in Taiwan, you can use Line, the messaging app. So it's sort of like a WhatsApp equivalent or WeChat equivalent. They use Line a lot more in Taiwan than they do WeChat or WhatsApp. But you can use that, but by and large, like in Japan, there are things that few things, but there are at least things like bookings and restaurants and so on. And in this case, registering an easy card for Youbikes, that does require a local phone number. So yeah, I reckon it's worth getting one person in the group to have a local number so that you can do this. Yeah, okay, so I'm riding westward on the whole westward. Starting to sprinkle a little bit. You can see these kind of marshes sort of on my right. Beyond that, you've got big, dense apartment blocks. But yeah, you can't see the river as clearly now. I'm still riding fairly slowly. I reckon I'm going, what, 15 k's an hour? So it is not fast. I think I have to adjust my seat. It's a bit low. And these bikes are made for shorter people, but you can adjust your seat, so don't worry if you're super tall, like my brother-in-law. Okay, river's opened up again. Yeah, so you can see the apartment buildings. That's a lot of apartments. It's all along there. High rises. Yeah, population density there would be quite high. Just getting a little bit of rain at the moment, so I might just adjust my seat and my camera, and I'll resume in a moment. Hi, I'm back. You'll notice that one of the things in Taiwan, as it is with a lot of countries, is helmets are not compulsory when you're riding a bike, which, yeah, I mean, it's not great for safety, but it does make it rather convenient. So it's a trade-off, yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I like the wind rushing through my hair riding in Taiwan. Also, again, if you're gonna do what I talked about, hopping on and off these bikes, 5-10 minute sort of rides, it is a real hassle to, you know, have helmets, which again, with public bikes, like it does with Sydney, sorry, the rental bikes, helmets go missing. So if you're hoping to get a, you know, one of those Lime e-bikes or whatever in Sydney, I'm sure they all came with helmets that, you know, attached in the baskets usually. But you're gonna find one with a helmet that fits, especially for people with oversized heads like me. It's not that easy. So when I do it in Sydney, I always just bring my own helmet. Okay. There's actually, I've just ridden past a mini golf course. So public use, I guess, BYO golf balls and putters, and you can play mini golf here. That's kind of cool. All right, there is a Ferris wheel. So I've stayed on that side of the river before because my family, my extended family, my grandmother, she lives in Neihu, which is on the other side, the brown metro line. And there's a big shopping center there with cinemas. I'm pretty sure when the kids were young, we took them to cinemas, and a Ferris wheel, which is kind of cool. Okay, we are approaching another one of these nice bridges. Oh, we've got people rowing. Wow, okay, this is cool. I mean, look, why am I surprised? This is a river snaking through the kind of northern end of Taipei City. Why wouldn't people be into rowing? It's very still. Soccer field on my left. Taiwanese are into their sports, but you're gonna find they're much more influenced by, well, I guess some American sports. So you will not see rugby and cricket much. I've never in Taiwan, but baseball is big and basketball is big. Yeah, so they've got their baseball league and their basketball. They're a national league, which, for those who know, Jeremy Lin plays for the Taipei Kings, and I think they win, of course. And his brother too. I don't know too much about Taiwanese basketball, but anyway, so basketball's big. You'll see people, young people playing basketball everywhere. But yes, baseball is pretty big. So you can go see baseball matches. Near where we're staying is the the Taipei dome. There's two, there's a little one and a big one. Stay near the big one. And they have baseball matches there. And I didn't go, but last time my nephew, or second nephew, my cousin's son, did take some of our group, the boys, to watch a baseball match. And apparently what they're famous for at these baseball matches, even if you're not into the baseball, is the cheerleading. But the dancing side. So not just because of attractive cheerleaders, again, I haven't seen it, but apparently, yeah, they're really kind of good dancers and people go and watch them. So that's I guess, another reason for people to go watch baseball. Yeah. So we've got coming up to this bridge. Okay, in the distance, past the bridge, and you'll see it a lot more clearly in a moment, is the Yuanshan Dafan Dian is the, it's sort of this iconic hotel where, you know, when Taiwan was still a fledgling republic under military rule, Chiang Kai-shek, you know, having seceded from China or escaped from China or moved the government from China. So it depends on your perspective of history, and I'm not going to wade into that. But in the, you'll see photos of early years of the Republic where they would host foreign dignitaries for meals and accommodation, would be at Yuanshan. I have not been inside since I was a kid. But from the outside, it is, yeah, like I said, architecturally, it's quite iconic. Red, of course, because this is Chinese culture, and red is a lucky number. I mean, not lucky number, red is a lucky color. Oh, public toilets, this is great. I'm gonna need that. Yeah, so you can see it much more clearly now, that very traditional Chinese architectural design. I don't know much about architecture or architectural terms, so I kind of can't describe for you what the features are, but for a complete noob like me, it really is very obviously and distinctly Chinese looking. Yay. Yes, so you can continue to ride past the Yuanshan Hotel. But I don't think I will today, because I'm going to turn around and head back when I get closer to that. Or at least I might head back via those portaloos that actually look pretty clean. It's New Year's Eve tonight, so you're gonna have celebrations everywhere, particularly near the Taipei 101 building, which for a brief period of time was the world's tallest skyscraper. And then it got eclipsed by a number of other ones, including, you know, the Twin Towers in Malaysia and KL, and now I don't know what the tallest tower is. Tallest skyscrapers are probably in the Middle East somewhere. But for a very brief moment in history, I will look up exactly how long it was the tallest. So fireworks, and we've been here on New Year's Eve before. Fireworks launch from the 101. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty special. I gotta say, it's not as spectacular, objectively speaking, as the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which is one of the most unique firework displays. It's pretty, it's the harbour, it's thematic, it's different every year. They have 2 fireworks in Sydney, so if you haven't visited Sydney, and you get to be there for New Year's Eve, even if you watch it on the television, it's pretty unique, amazing. This year, I believe they will have at the 9 o'clock family fireworks. So there's 2 sessions at 9 o'clock. So we're talking about Sydney now, not Taipei. They will commemorate the Bondi terrorist attacks, which happened only a few weeks ago. But coming back to Taipei, so the fireworks launch off the 4 sides, or how many sides, of the Taipei 101 skyscraper, from bottom to top. So it looks pretty cool. I'll get some footage of that as well tonight. We're staying not too far from the 101, so we will find a way of getting closer. It will be crowded. But there's also heightened security right at this particular time because of the stabbing attacks that killed, I think, 3 people, or 4 if you include the attacker, in Taipei just a week or so ago, is it? Yeah, very recently. So I haven't noticed it, but there has been supposedly ramped up security, and they are ramping up security at crowded places like at New Year's Eve. Clearly, that's going to be important. So yes, so it's kind of important that there is security, but there are going to be lots of people. A couple of years ago when we did this, it was just follow everyone else to try and find a vantage point. Where we ended up, we couldn't move any further because the crowds were there, and we didn't come early enough. We just landed that night, literally. We got off the plane. By the time we got into Taipei City, it was probably like 11 o'clock, 10:30, I think. And our driver couldn't even get closer to where we're staying because roads had been blocked off. Okay, so we had to roll our luggage / carry our luggage to our accommodation. But because our accommodation was fairly close to some of the vantage points, near the Sun Yat-sen Memorial, which is pretty close to the 101, and from certain places you can see it. So we just followed the crowd, and yeah, stood at a particular place where half of the 101 was sort of covered by trees, but we could still see the top, and it was kind of cool. Yes. We were able to see the fireworks. I think this was two New Year's Eves ago. Yeah. Yes, so it is pretty cool to see fireworks exploding off all sides of this building. I mean, the building sort of looks like this rocket ship, if you like. And rather than, the rocket ship launching, it's like seeing fire and dazzling colors spray upwards from this rocket all around. It's kind of cool. But yes, objectively speaking, I think the fireworks are still better in Sydney, both in terms of location, view. I mean, the breadth of the view in Sydney, right? So, what you've got in Taipei 101 is this kind of one place. And you look around and it's just buildings. But in Sydney, it's the whole harbour, right? And you've got different launching areas of fireworks. Yeah, from all around the harbor, and you could take, you know, a wide shot or a wide photo or an aerial one where it captures just this panoramic almost view of Sydney Harbour, and you've got fireworks everywhere. And people will go on boats and yachts to get a closer view. Wow, there are tennis courts here. That's awesome. Is tennis big in Taiwan? I think it's, look, there's been a couple of good Taiwanese players, especially doubles player. Yeah, so, and then anytime China has a good player, like in the past Li Na, yeah, it's like national pride. You see, Taiwan and China might have its tensions, but the majority of Taiwanese would still call themselves Chinese. And so, that being the case, anytime China shines, Taiwan shines, because we're all Chinese. So that is the one time you will see politics get put aside, because Chinese pride is Chinese pride. Doesn't matter where you are. And I think that's the case with most of the Chinese majority or Chinese dominant places, even in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, especially Hong Kong, obviously, it's part of China now. But yes, anytime China shines, Chinese people, no matter what your flag you're flying, you're gonna feel proud to be Chinese, because Chineseness is an ethnic heritage and not just a political thing. Of course, with more of the independent movements in Taiwan, you're going to have people who will want to be called Taiwanese rather than Chinese, at least first and foremost, because there have been Taiwanese for centuries, including indigenous Taiwanese, but also Taiwan, or Formosa, has been occupied by Chinese migrants for generations, long before China became the Republic of China, post 1949. So I think there's a reason, there's a good rationale at least for identifying as Taiwanese for those who do. But ethnically, the majority are going to be Chinese, and not just Chinese in general, but Han Chinese, which is the dominant people group of Chinese people all around the world. No matter what regional dialect, Han Chinese are the dominant ones. So that's how you can identify. So when people ask me what country are you from, I'll say Taiwan. But who are you? I'm Chinese. What are you? I'm Chinese. So yeah, just one of those quirks that you're gonna find. I guess it's saying, you know, I'm Australian, but I'm Anglo. You know, like Anglo's everywhere, Anglo-Saxon, but Australian is your nationality. All right, so I wasn't intending to do this, but we've sort of done a loop. I don't know how the path just naturally looped just before I got to the Yuanshan Hotel, but it did, which means I'm already heading back east towards my starting point. Essentially, I'm going to be retracing the paths from where I started. So this is probably as good a time as any, to finish up the video. But again, if you liked my rambling, running commentary type thing. It's mostly not what I do, but every so often when I get on a bike, like I did, riding the Greenway cycle path, that new one in Inner West to Iron Cove. By the way, if you haven't seen that, check it out on my channel. Like and subscribe for more of this kind of chill content, especially using Insta360, the X5. I'm not paid or sponsored to say any of this, but yes, I do like using Insta360 camera just for the convenience of just mounting it at the front of this bike via a clamp. The clamp does kind of fall down a little bit, but I just brought my clamp and obviously my selfie stick, the invisible selfie stick, so it's easy enough to mount on any bike usually. So that's what I've done. And I could do it on a Youbike, even though there's not as much handlebar space because of the other stuff that needs to go here. So yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed riding with me along the Keelung River in Taipei, which has been a beautiful, beautiful ride. And I'm gonna finish the video as I go down to who knows where on this ramp. Oh, by the pier side, that's kind of cool. All right, and you can see the river and the bridge. All right, until next time, 再见, which means bye in Chinese.